All right, folks. So we're going to talk about these devices, and I generically refer to them as choke balons. Sometimes we'll call them balons, sometimes we'll call them chokes. Now, this really upsets some people, and they come on my comments and say things like, "You called it a choke when it's a balun. You called it a balun when it's a choke, and I'm not watching." Don't watch. I don't care. But what I want to do is explain a little bit behind that. In amateur radio, these things are called both choke balance and balun chokes all the time. In amateur radio, we use a balun to connect a balanced load to an unbalanced feed line, so like a dipole to a coaxial cable. And we do that to control the flow of current on our coaxial cable, specifically common mode current. Now, the way that these devices work is that when you push current through a wire wrapped around a toroid, it creates magnetic fields. When you use the type of current that we use in amateur radio, differential mode current, it's alternating current. So as a signal's going out, another signal's coming in. When they create these magnetic fields based off of the wire wrapped around the toroid, they cancel out the impedance and allow the current to pass. When you have an unbalanced current, like common mode current, it creates an unbalance in the magnetic field of the toroid, which creates an impedance. This impedance prohibits or slows or degrades, I'm not sure the right word, attenuates the flow of that common mode current and keeps that current off of our feed line. We use a balun to do this, and we use a choke to do this, and that's why I call them balun chokes and choke balance. I used to make a big deal about the difference, and then I realized that both devices do the exact same thing. So what? So what does it matter what we call them? The purpose of these videos is to teach people about common mode current and the tools that we use to stop it. So in this video, what we're going to do is test these two choke baluns. How do you like that? And this one is made by wrapping 11 turns of RG58 coaxial cable around a Mix 31 type toroid. Mix 31 is particularly good for broadband choking. And this one is the same toroid. It's a Mix 31. And I was asked, is there really a difference between using coaxial cable or using wire? In this particular test, I used 16 gauge magnetic wire. That's what it's called, mag wire. And really, it's just solid core copper wire, 11 turns. And it has a thin enamel coating on here for insulation. And people wanted to know which one was better, so we're going to test it. So when we do this test, we're going to need to make sure that we're connecting to the same wire on both sides of the toroid. So what I've done is I broke out my Kai Wheats, and it is the H118A, and this is a multimeter that I like quite a bit. I'm going to turn it on to my continuity setting, and I'm going to hit the function button to get the continuity, and you know you've done that when you see that audible sound icon. I don't know why that makes sense, but it just does. Now when I touch these, you can see that we have continuity. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I don't have continuity across either wire, and I don't. So when I come up here and I touch this one, I have continuity. When I touch that one, I don't. When I touch that one, I do. So I can use either one of these wires. What we're going to do is we're going to send a signal through one wire and then bypass the other. That way we create the imbalanced current that I was talking about earlier. Here's how we do that bypass. So I have the center conductor of my test leads, and these are my janky test leads. And I did a video showing how to calibrate these as part of your reference plane for doing these types of tests. Now I've connected the center conductors, which will run the signal through the toroid, and I've bypassed the ground. These connect into my Nano VNA. As I mentioned, it's calibrated to include these cables. And now we're going to switch over to Nano VNA Saver because it's a little easier to see on the computer. Okay, so we've done a sweep on what's actually called a Guanella Balun 1-to-1. And up here in the upper right-hand corner, you can see the sweep control. We set our frequencies from 3 megahertz all the way up to 30 megahertz. So that should get all of the HF bands. And then we set 10 segments. So we have 1,010 data points across our sweep. And you can see we're below 30 dB of attenuation from 80 meters all the way up through 10. And it drops down further as we go higher up in the frequency. Now we do have this dip, and I've seen this recently on a couple of the tests that I've done, and I think it's some sort of reactance that's taking place either from the leads or from something happening in the cores, but it's fairly typical. I've seen it on 3 different cores right now, so I don't know if that's an anomaly or not, but in any event, it still is dropping it down. Now typically for common mode current suppression, we like to be below 30 dB. So we're fine with this Mix 31 core with the 11 wraps of 16 gauge, bifilar wraps, I should say, of 16 gauge magnet wire. And that looks pretty good. So let me get the Balun choke that is wrapped in the coaxial cable connected, and we'll do a sweep. So what I want to do here is I want to set this one as a current reference. Also, I want to mention that the measurement that we're doing is an S21 gain measurement. Okay, we've ran the sweep, and the blue line is the reference or the original core we tested. The green line is the coax wrapped core with the RG58. And you can see on the lower bands, the RG58 actually performs a little bit better with lower attenuation. Now, granted, it's only a few dB, so that's not really significant. But once we get to the 20 meter band, it's actually higher. And then it's much higher when we take a look at the 10 meter band. So in this particular case, if I was going to use a core and I was overly concerned about common mode current suppression, I probably would use the bifilar wound toroid. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or recommendations, go ahead and post them below and I'll do my best to respond. As always, thanks for watching, everyone.